believe now would have made that situation worse for me. And that is a really, really horrible reality for me to face. So I want to help open up this understanding, open up the truth, see all the crosses that get involved, and help solve this problem. Because truly, we can solve this problem, but we cannot solve this problem if we look away, if we pretend that it doesn't happen all the time. 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 8 boys are sexually assaulted, almost always by somebody they know, and usually by somebody that their family has put in their presence. So please help me find a way to educate and open this up so we can change these numbers. Now, I'm going to always err on the side of safety here, because when it comes to a child's safety and when it comes to a person's emotional health, abuse is good for no one. So it doesn't matter to me whether or not the abuser was an adult or a child. You know, an abusive action always needs to have mental help on both sides. Whether you are the one that was assaulted, or if you were the one that assaulted, there is also something wrong. For example, in my case, my rapist was a 15-year-old boy. Now, this is not a normal characteristic of a healthy 15-year-old boy. He also needed help. So I am going to open up all of the different opportunities to understand the twists that are different, okay, than most people think. You know, I recently became a spokesperson for RAINN, which is a national anti-rape organization. You can look them up on the internet. They're RAINN. I'm creating this program. I'm titling it Voice Finder, and the reason that I'm titling it that is because this last year I've been doing an enormous amount of work in order to get my last phases of therapy completely done and to understand this situation a little bit better. And that was the name as I was starting to come out and create a blog and things like that, and show the other fellow survivors on the rape side. I said, what should I call this? What should I call what I am trying to do to help raise awareness and solve this problem? And I like this name, Voice Finder. I had no voice as a child, and I have found my voice, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to try to solve the misconception first. You know, the misconception of my child will tell me. You know, my mother believed that adamantly, you know, and my mother was not correct. My mother, as well as most of my family, only found out this last year. I did this and I broke the news to my family so that I could come out and find a solution. And it seems to me that the solution starts with an enormous amount of knowledge, because we have misknowledge. You know, it's harder to unlearn a bad practice. And when you firmly believe certain things, it will not help when we are trying to unfold the truth from our side. So leave your minds open, and we will find a better way. We will find a better way than violence and silence. Because when we allow our children to grow up abuse-free, even the one that's silent and kept behind the scenes, we allow our children an enormously brilliant future. So do not tag them with this kind of a background. It takes us a very, very long time to work it all out and heal. I'm going to give you a little bit of the basics in that. For me, the repression happened really quickly. I don't think I had my memories for more than like a week of the actual physical assaults. And they kept trying to come back in my 20s, but they didn't really come back in until my 30s, which was a traumatic event that happened in my own family. And when that opened up the pain of the other just flooded right in, which is actually a pretty common combination. Our memories tend to come back in with a traumatic event, and a lot of times in our 30s when we are just more balanced and more ready to handle it. But at that point, we have to start to work with all of the trauma and all of the words that were not said. So that is the beginning of our healing process. I am now, hopefully now, at the end of my healing process. I am just in my last phases of my therapy, which is why I still look a little sick. This last year has been really tough on me as I've been trying to dig everything up and bring everything out. And in that process, like they've told you before, as I'm sure most people have heard, is trauma holds itself into the body. So we have to work that back out, and then we flush it. I have just begun my cleansing process. So I'm doing this now because I want people to be able to see it. There's a physical change that happens to me. Like, you know, I look a little sick right now. My cheeks are puffy and all of that, and I'm not really using anything except for a little bit of, you know, camera makeup just so that I don't get bright flashes off of me. But I want to show you that too, because it should show in my face as I'm releasing all the rest of this. And I'm trying to put the two together because it creates a little bit more of a clearer picture of it and an honesty to it. Because if I want to show you something that is ugly and horrible, and I don't know of very many other things that are more ugly and more horrible than a child being sexually assaulted or abused. So, and the levels in the aftermath and things that it leaves in them, it just creates a complication and a difficulty that you don't want your children to have to face as they're adults. So let us look at this problem. Let's look at it. I know that it's ugly. It's not a beautiful thing. I really wish I could be telling jokes, but for right now, I'm going to go with a little bit of Martin Luther King. I have a dream. And like Martin Luther King, my dream is for freedom. But my freedom is not for one by race. Martin Luther King really, I mean, he spoke for race because it needed the freedom. I'm speaking for children because we need to grow up without abuse. And we can do it. We can do it if we can figure out and understand the silence, the shame, the blame, and the aftermath. If we can get those things understood, we can solve this problem. My name is Renee Belinda Cooper. I am a recovering survivor of teen sexual assault. I am going to do my absolute best to try to open this up and see if we can find a better solution. I am being proactive, just like I would like parents to be. I want parents to be proactive rather than reactive, and we can do that. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day.